comparing U.S. China and Russia's finest military aircraft in the skies above. A silent, high-tech arms race is unfolding, a contest for dominance that could very well define the future of global power. For decades, the United States, Russia, and now, a rapidly rising China, have been pouring staggering resources into creating the most lethal, sophisticated, and survivable military aircraft the world has ever seen. We always hear about the flashy fighter jets, the F-35, the Su-57, the J-20, but they're just one piece of a much larger, more complex puzzle. We're going to break down the world's top 3 air powers and stack them against each other in a no-holds-barred analysis. We'll look at everything from the sheer size of their fleets and the raw power of their strategic bombers to the revolutionary tech packed inside their best fighters and the critical, often overlooked skills of their pilots. In this ultimate 2025 comparison, we're going beyond the headlines. Well, the answer is a lot more complicated than you might think. So who really owns the skies when these giants are put to the test? But that number is a bit deceptive. China is in the middle of the most ambitious and rapid military aviation upgrade program in the world. For years, the PLF relied on reverse-engineered Soviet planes, but today, it's rolling out advanced homegrown aircraft at a shocking rate. China's main goal is to create what is called an anti-access area denial bubble in the Western Pacific. Basically, a no-go zone designed to counter American naval and air power and cement its own regional dominance. It's the starting point for understanding what each nation is trying to achieve. With its unique combination of extreme stealth, blistering speed, and incredible maneuverability, the F-22 was designed for one mission: to own the sky. If the F-22 is a purebred killer, the F-35 is a multi-role stealth fighter, a flying supercomputer designed to be the quarterback of the battlefield. The J-20 is China's first operational stealth fighter, and a loud and clear statement of its technological ambition. It's a big, powerful aircraft designed for long range and a heavy internal weapons load. This reflects its job in China as a 2D strategy: fly out far from the Chinese mainland and take out high-value targets like enemy tanker and surveillance planes. While its stealth isn't considered quite as advanced as the F-22's, the J-20 is constantly being upgraded. China is also working on a smaller stealth fighter, the J-35, which is intended for its growing fleet of aircraft carriers and for export. The Xi'an H-2O, shrouded in secrecy, the H-20 is believed to be a large, subsonic flying wing. The main workhorse is the Tu-95 Bear, a massive turboprop bomber that has been flying for decades. But its real knockout power comes from the Tu-160 White Swan, a colossal, supersonic, variable sweep wing bomber. It's the heaviest and fastest strategic bomber on the planet. While they once flew between 200 and 250 hours a year, recent figures are closer to the NATO recommendation of 180 hours. This is backed up by incredibly realistic large-scale training exercises like Red Flag, which simulate intense combat against tough opponents. The PLF is rapidly increasing its training hours to match its modern fleet, with pilots now estimated to fly between 180 and 220 hours a year. They're developing their own large-scale exercises, but they just don't have the decades of institutional knowledge and combat experience the U.S. has built up. Turning a generation of pilots trained on older, simpler planes into expert operators of complex fifth-generation systems is a huge challenge that technology alone can't fix. This tough training builds not just skill, but the ability to think and adapt under extreme pressure. Its incredible industrial power is letting it build a modern air force at a truly breathtaking speed. While it may still be behind in key areas like jet engines and pilot experience, its focused strategy of regional dominance, backed by platforms like the J-20 and a growing arsenal of missiles, makes it a serious challenger, especially in the Indo-Pacific. Russia isn't designing a new stealth bomber from scratch. Have we entered a new Cold War in the skies? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown informative, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most advanced military tech. Instead, it's focused on restarting the Tu-160 production line and modernizing the fleet, equipping these beasts with new long-range cruise missiles. The skies of 2025 are a complex, multipolar world. The U.S. still holds the crown, but that dominance is being challenged more seriously than ever before by a determined and rapidly advancing China and a resilient Russia that continues to punch above its weight. Its combination of overwhelming numbers, technological superiority, a massive support fleet that gives it global reach, and highly experienced pilots gives it a multi-layered advantage that no one else can match. And with the B-21 Raider coming online and the next-generation air dominance program developing the fighter of the future, the U.S. isn't standing still. It might not have the F-22's raw speed or agility, but its real strength is its mind-blowing sensor fusion and networking. While it has stealth features, it really prioritizes extreme agility, speed, and raw power. It's a dogfighter at heart. It has a huge inventory of capable aircraft and a deep well of design experience, producing jets like the Su-57 that can match any in the world in pure performance. But production problems and economic limits are holding back its modernization, forcing it to rely on upgrading a largely legacy fleet. Training and real-world experience are the invisible, yet often decisive factors in any air war. It blends those next-gen sensors with the kind of raw performance Russian jets are famous for. The program, however, has been plagued by production delays and international sanctions. Even decades after it first flew, the B-2's flying wing design is still the gold standard for stealth technology. Current estimates put Russian pilots at around 100 to 180 hours per year. This is a huge improvement, but still generally behind their U.S. counterparts. Their combat experience has been boosted by recent conflicts, but they don't have the same kind of large, complex training exercises that Western air forces rely on. But the B-2 is about to get a partner in crime, the new B-21 Raider. The B-21 is a sixth-generation bomber that builds on the B-2's legacy with even more advanced stealth, a more sustainable design, and the ability to act as a flying command center for a network of drones and other aircraft. With multiple test aircraft already flying and making good progress, the B-21 program is moving fast and is expected to become the future backbone of America's long-range strike force. Russia is working hard to ramp up production and is developing an upgraded Su-57M variant, but its limited numbers remain its biggest weakness. The F-35 sucks in huge amounts of data, processes it, and shares it with other friendly forces, creating a crystal-clear, real-time picture of the entire fight. With over 1,000 jets delivered to allies around the world, the F-35 program also creates a powerful network effect, making allied forces that much more lethal. These are the planes designed for long-range missions, capable of delivering city-leveling payloads deep inside enemy territory. Its production, however, was cut short at just 187 operational aircraft, making it a rare and precious asset for the U.S. Air Force, and it's not for sale to any other country. And Russia's hardened experience make the global balance of air power a very dynamic and evolving challenge. The Russian Air Force is a legacy power, built on the foundations of the Soviet era, but it's in the middle of a serious modernization push. Its strategy is all about defending the homeland, projecting power in its region, and strategic deterrence. These machines represent the absolute pinnacle of each nation's technological might. This is the world of the fifth-generation fighter, defined by three things: stealth, advanced sensors, and networked warfare. While a lot of its planes are updated Soviet designs, Russia is still introducing new platforms, focusing on robust and reliable solutions to maintain its strategic edge. The United States commands the largest and most technologically advanced air fleet on the planet. With a staggering total of over 13,000 to 14,000 military aircraft across all its branches, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Army, its fleet is bigger than the next several countries combined. This massive force isn't just for defense. It's built for global power projection. It's what allows the U.S. to exert influence and respond to a crisis anywhere in the world at any time. This fleet is a complex ecosystem of fighters, bombers, transports, and tankers that all have to work together. Section 1. The weight of numbers, fleet size, and composition when it comes to air power. Size definitely matters, but it's not the whole story. In the number 2 spot is Russia, with a formidable fleet of over 4,200 aircraft. Then you have China, the rising giant. The People's Liberation Army Air Force, or PLAA, ranks third with over 3,300 aircraft. So while the U.S. has the clear lead in numbers, China has explosive growth number, Section 2, the tip of the spear, the 5th generation showdown. Now for the main event, the top-tier fighter jets. The United States fields a potent 1-2 punch. First up, the F-22 Raptor. It is, arguably, the most capable air-to-air superiority fighter ever built. The second part of that punch is the F-35 Lightning II. China's answer to American stealth is the Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon. Russia's entry into the 5th Gen Club is the Sukhoi Su-57, codenamed Felon by NATO. The Su-57 takes a different approach. Section 3. The heavy hitters, strategic bombers. Beyond the dogfights and tactical strikes lies the world of the strategic heavy bomber. The United States has long been the undisputed king of this category, operating the world's only true stealth bomber, the B-2 Spirit. China is racing to catch up with its own stealth bomber. Russia's strategic bomber force relies on its impressive but aging fleet of Soviet-era giants. Section 4. The human element, pilot training. The most advanced airplane in the world is useless without a skilled pilot in the cockpit. Historically, U.S. pilots have held a major edge here. Russia has worked hard to get its pilots more airtime, which dropped off a cliff after the Cold War. China faces the steepest learning curve. So, after stacking these three air powers against each other, who really comes out on top in 2025? The United States is still the world's #1 air power. However, the gap is definitely closing. China's rise is the single most important strategic development in the skies in a generation. Russia remains a potent, if somewhat constrained, air power. The bottom line? The era of uncontested American air superiority is over. What do you think? Which nation's air power strategy is the most effective for the future?